And good afternoon, everyone. It's Stephen.Robinson, Director and Managing Partner for the EV and Future Mobility Practice at Hyperion Executive Search. I'm delighted to have with me this afternoon a really special guest, in fact, one of the pioneers of the EV transition, Angus Webb, CEO and Founder of Dynamon. Angus, good afternoon. How are you?
Good afternoon. Great to be here. Thank you, Stephen.
No, much appreciated. It's great to connect. I know you've been on quite the road show as of late, so we'll touch on that shortly. I think up and down not only the country but across to Europe to visit some of your customers. So, what would be great, Angus, maybe for the audience, if you could give a brief introduction to yourself, your background, and what it was that led you to actually sit in your position now and found Dynamon.
Sure. Thank you. So I'm the CEO and founder of Dynamon. I founded the business in 2015. The inspiration came from the job I was doing before that, which was where I was working for the British Olympic athletes ahead of London 2012. My job was to help them improve their performance, understand how they could better analyze data, and make much smarter decisions around their equipment and basically win more medals at the Olympic Games. And that was super interesting, and it demonstrated that the software that we had made them significantly smarter around their decision making. And so what I wanted to do was to take that idea but deploy it into a much bigger industry. And the commercial transport industry, one of the biggest industries in the world, immense amounts of CapEx spending and OpEx spending going through that industry, and this huge opportunity to save money and obviously reduce CO2 and eliminate ultimately CO2. And so I founded Dynamon to take this kind of technology, which is data analytics and simulation, and build tools to help the industry make better decisions. And it's been an amazing journey getting to where we are today, and working with some of the biggest businesses all over the world, and growing the team. It's been great.
Fantastic, amazing story actually. So on the one hand, sort of you've helped improve and optimize the performance of humans, of people, and now essentially you're applying that into hunks of metal and helping businesses with their fleets and decarbonising those as we move forward. So no, absolutely fantastic. In terms of your USP, then obviously me knowing the business and your tool set of fleet optimization tools, namely the Zero package in the platform. Perhaps you give us a little bit more insight into that and how you are supporting customers with their EV fleets and accelerating their strategies for decarbonisation. I guess also to add on to that, can you help businesses who are looking at alternative fuels and different technologies, not just electric? And maybe it's quite fresh, given I think I've seen that you've been on quite the roadshow as of late, visiting a number of customers, OEM customers around the world. So yeah, maybe just an insight into the software tool set and what you can share. I appreciate there's possibly some sensitivities, but just how that software is helping push the needle to decarbonisation for your customers.
Sure. So our flagship software product is Zero, as you mentioned, and it's a really advanced planning tool for electrification. And we will be expanding it to other fuels, for example, hydrogen in the not too distant future. But it's a really advanced planning tool that enables fleets to analyze all their data, look at all their locations, all their current vehicles, all their current journeys, and predict the optimum electrification solution for that operation. It enables them to choose EVs that will suit their needs, but most importantly, enable them to do something that will be cost effective. So I mentioned EVs. Obviously, it's not just about EVs. It's all about the charging infrastructure. Pretty much every fleet is going to have to invest a significant amount of money into charging as well. And all of this analysis that needs to be done to choose the right vehicles, to choose the right chargers, and when to go EV and how quickly to go EV, it's a massive data analysis challenge and headache. Every fleet is going to have to go through this process. And so we built Zero to make that process very reliable and easy to do and very precise. And so at the end of it, you're able to get your transition right, but also save a lot of money in the process. So that's from the fleet perspective, but obviously there's lots of businesses out there as well selling solutions to fleets that will help them go to EV. OEMs, charging infrastructure providers, lots of different types of businesses, and they need to be able to demonstrate their solutions as well. So we work with OEMs to help them demonstrate how their vehicle will perform in unique operations. Every operation is unique. It's going to be a slightly different solution for each fleet. And so it's really important that there is a tool available that makes that process easy and precise. So that's what we've done with Zero. And my roadshow that you refer to was me going around all the OEMs, and we're still not finished on that. We've got many more stops on that journey. But to work with them to make sure that their vehicles are very precisely simulated inside our software. So I was with Scania last week. The week before I was with Volvo, and the week before that I was with Renault. And their trucks are now inside our software. So if you're using our software, you can very precisely identify which routes they're going to work well on, how much charging you're going to need to do, everything you need to worry about around transitioning to EV. And we've got meetings coming up with DAF, Mercedes, and just immediately after this, I'm going to be traveling to the US, and we're meeting the US OEMs as well. So it's a global mission. There's a lot of work to do, but we want to make the tool of Zero the ultimate planning tool for getting that transition to EV right and saving you money along the way.
Absolutely. No, fantastic. I think what you touched on there, it's a collaboration. Decarbonisation is not simple, is it? So looking at, on the one hand, the charging, the infrastructure, which is an important capital intensive piece of the journey, and then the vehicles themselves, but then obviously the performance and the operational efficiencies as well. So working with the OEMs, as you have been on the roadshow, working with the charge point operators and the manufacturers, and bringing it all together, I think is going to be key. And I think, having worked in this industry for as many years as I have done, it is one of the I think that the good things about the sector in general is the fact that there is a lot of collaboration. We all recognise that there's not one company or one silver bullet that's going to get us where we need to be. So that's fantastic. And obviously with the eFreight 2030 consortium as well, and you having a big part and a big play in supporting businesses, how's that going, and how's the feedback been like from your customers following these roadshows?
Yeah, I mean, there's a lot happening at the moment. And I mentioned a lot about trucks, and that's the eFreight 2030. And the work that needs to go into getting electrification of trucking right is really quite advanced stuff, because these, first of all, the vehicles, the chargers, they're very expensive. And so you need to know that you're making that investment well as a fleet. And the eFreight 2030 consortium that we're part of, we're also part of the Zenfreight consortium as well, which is another consortium in the UK government's program of 4 consortiums. There's a load of interest in the analysis and planning phase, so we're very excited about that. We also work at the other end of the spectrum as well. I want to just emphasize, we work in our software is useful for van fleets as well. So lots of van fleets using our tool to transition, understand their charging needs, how many public charging stops they're going to need to make on their journeys, and lots of advanced analysis. I figured out, I think our software is currently influencing about £200 million of CapEx spend at the moment. If we tot up all the live projects, that's a massive number. But actually, it's not that big a percentage of the industry. So because it's still early days, so the amount of money that's going to be going through and needing to be spent on these solutions is eye-watering. So it's really important that we're helping these businesses make better decisions and getting it right.
Yeah, no, absolutely. And it's great, obviously, given the financial backing that Dynamon has from a lot of key players, global players within the industry. So clearly no rest for the wicked as well. CEO founded out on the roads, leading from the front. How is this funding going to help you in both the evolution and the development of Dynamon software and product suite, but also just in terms of your growth?
We're investing in two areas, really. So the product team is an amazing team at Dynamon, very, very diverse. And so we've got people with PhDs in physics, people with design backgrounds, software engineering backgrounds, data systems, cloud computing. We've got a massive spread of people in that team building the tools. And it's a hard job, because we're building a tool which is very advanced, but it needs to be usable by anyone really. There's lots of different types of people in the industry that will be thinking about this transition and need to be able to work with our software. So the under the hood engineering is super impressive, but turning that into a tool that anyone can use is a real, it's a challenge, to be honest. And that's what we're spending a lot of our time and energy trying to really nail. So the investment is really important for that. It's not simple. And so we need to hire really good quality people that work on that. And we've built an amazing product team. On the flip side as well, we really want to have an amazing customer service and customer support. And so working with building a customer success team is one of our key focuses as well at the moment. And specifically the decarbonization expertise we want to be bringing into the business. So growing the team, conducting the engineering, having a really great customer support offering alongside our software is key, I believe, to the success of this.
Yeah, no, absolutely. And just touching on that in terms of the customer success and really focusing on that element, which is hugely important, and specifically the decarbonisation side. We've been supporting Dynamon with the decarbonisation consultant need, which will hopefully give you a lift as a CEO and can lift some of that weight off your shoulders and the rest of the team. Perhaps tell the audience and those who maybe actually align both in terms of experience a little bit more about that role and how important that is to the business and what this person coming into the business can expect in sort of a day in the life of this role within Dynamon.
Sure. So specifically to this conversation, we are recruiting a decarbonisation consultant into Dynamon, and that person is going to be the expertise of Dynamon to our customers. So we've got an amazing software product that's being built by an incredible team, always getting better on a weekly basis. But we want to be able to provide that real hand-holding expertise to take our customers on that decarbonisation journey. And so if you're using our software for the first time, you're going to need a lot more support than if you're using it for the 10th time. And so we really need to have that consultative support as we then transition our customers as to super users of our software, when there'll be more account management. And so we're recruiting for this decarbonisation consultant that's got experience in the fleet industry, that understands energy very well, because again, this is a real energy problem, but also understands data and software. And we will support them through that journey as well in upskilling, to the levels and in the areas that we need them to be at. But we are looking for someone with some good, solid expertise in generally fleet, electrification, and data. And so, we're working with you to try and find that strong candidate or the strong candidates for this position, which today will be really hands-on, but obviously as we grow, it's going to become a leadership position in the future as well. So it's a really exciting opportunity to join a company like Dynamon at this stage where we've got some incredible customers, a lot of really exciting stuff going on, but you're really joining at a time when it's big time growth phase, and so you've got this opportunity to really grow with the business, which I think is super attractive.
Yeah, no, absolutely, and that brings me on to the culture at Dynamon as a business ourselves. We've worked with a lot of startup and scale up companies in the early days and phases of growth, and it's not for everyone. There's a lot of hard yards and a lot of hard work, and the battle scars. I'm sure you've got many of them sat within your seat. So, what's the culture like at Dynamon? This person, I'm guessing, is going to be almost a conduit between the commercial team, customer success, account management, the product team, almost being that voice of customer and feeding back into Chris and the team just in terms of how we can improve the product. And I guess working in almost like a smaller organisation like Dynamon, bit of an insight into the culture would be great as well, if you can share, Angus.
Sure. I mean, I think the culture at Dynamon's amazing. I would say that, but we have a really friendly bunch of people, really supportive. And it is very diverse. We've got people from lots of different backgrounds in the business. So I would say that one of our key cultural values internally is of education. Everybody's on a journey. The industry's on a journey. We're building something new. And so, it's anyone that likes to learn, that's curious, that likes to work with people from different backgrounds fits in really well at Dynamon. We like people that have got really good communication skills. We value that really strongly. And obviously, it is hard work. It's a group company. So anyone that's looking for a challenge, fits in really well with us, that likes moving fast, traveling, getting out there, doing things, rolling up your sleeves. I mean, I'm mentioning a lot of attributes, but that is the culture. That's the culture of the business. But when you get those, when you find people that fit, it's a good laugh, and everybody enjoys themselves.
Yeah, no, absolutely. I think that's important. There's the element of being able to do the job and constantly be learning, but also nowadays, especially in the fast growing startup scale up world, we spend often more time with our colleagues than we do with our family members. So if you can have a laugh and enjoy it along the way, then all the better. But no, that's fantastic. I think you've given us a real great insight into the business, into the role. Obviously, after this, we'll drop this across all our platforms with instructions on anyone who's listening, watching, who may be interested in Dynamon, who can get in touch with us, and we can take it forward from there. But Angus, it's been a pleasure. I'll let you get onto it. Safe journey to the US, and hopefully we'll catch up again soon once this person is in post.
Fantastic. Thank you very much.